Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamanam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupa Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunata Vitam Tam Sujivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padasagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyayevacha Patita Nampavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So let's start with our shloka recitation. Yes, Mother Angel, go ahead.
Okay. Chapter 10, verse 11. Tisham Ivano, what is Tisham Ivanukam Parto? Yeah. Ahama Janana Jam Tamaha.
Bhavasto.
What, Prabhu?
Nasayami Atma Bhavasto.
Nasayami Atma Bhavasto. Janana Dipina Basbata. Translation. To show them special mercy, I dwelling in their hearts. Destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge. With the shining lamp of knowledge, the ignorance, the darkness born of ignorance. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Next.
Okay, I'll go next, Prabhu. Okay, chapter 10, verse 11. Tesham ivanukampartam aham agyana jam tamaha nashayam yam yabhavasto jnana dipena bhasvata. Translation. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Yes, Mother Nikki.
Okay, chapter 10, text 11. Tesham evanukampartam aham agyanajam tamaha nashayami atmabhavashto gyana dipina bhashvata. Translation. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Mother Tripura.
Yes, Prabhuji. 10.11. Teshamevanukampartam aham agnanajam tamam nashami atma bhavasto gnanadipena bhashvata. Translation. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born out of ignorance. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Oh, very nice. Thank you. Okay, so I want to remind us, summarize the last class on Friday. Now we are done with our Bhakti ISKCON Disciple course. So we now concentrate on Bhagavad Gita course. So it's very nice. So we have 6:30 to 7:30 every day. Sometimes if you go to 8 o'clock, it's okay. Then like that. But I think the timing is okay. 6:30 to 7:30 or 8 o'clock. Yeah. Okay. So Mother Nikki, you want to summarize Friday?
Okay, Prabhu, I'll try. Okay, so last Friday we started with chapter 12, devotional service. In this chapter, Arjuna will ask Krishna another question after seeing Krishna's universal form. In verse 1, Arjuna asks, what is more perfect? Those who are properly engaged in devotional service for Krishna or Bhakti Yoga, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the manifested, or Jnana Yoga? In the purport, according to Srila Prabhupada, generally, the transcendentalist can be divided into two classes. The impersonalist who engages himself not directly in the service of Krishna, but in the meditation of the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested. And we have the second one, the personalist, devotee who engages all his energy in the service of the Supreme Lord. So in the purport also, Srila Prabhupada recalled previous verses like the second chapter to explain what is more important. In the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it was explained there that the living entity is not a material body, but a spiritual spark, and Krishna is the spiritual whole. In the seventh chapter, or knowledge of the absolute, the living entity is explained as a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So he must devote his life to the Supreme Lord or Krishna. Then in the eighth chapter, attaining the Supreme, it was explained there that one who remembers Krishna at the time of quitting his body is at once transferred to Krishna's abode. And then we come back to the sixth chapter, Jnana Yoga, that where Krishna said that all yogis, those who always think of Krishna, are considered perfect. So these chapters, the reason why Srila Prabhupada mentioned them is because in practically every chapter, we can conclude that one should be attached to the personal form of Krishna, for that is the highest spiritual realization. So that is the answer to Arjuna's question. But of course, in the next verse, Krishna will answer this question himself. Okay? So let's go to the second verse. Krishna answers instantly, without missing a beat, that devotional service is the topmost. So those who fix their minds on his personal form and are always engaged in worshiping him with faith, great and transcendental faith, are the most perfect, according to Krishna. So in the purport, he mentioned that one must engage in every activity in full Krishna consciousness. Or this is, as the term gives us samadhi. He gave us the term samadhi, Srila Prabhupada. So that means the complete focus or absorption to Krishna. Okay, so let's go to verses 3 and 4, where Krishna clarifies that those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested, will also achieve him in the end, although this is a difficult process. That is why we mentioned that there are people who actually leans more on charity or philanthropic work, right? Because to them, God is in the heart of everyone. So by giving charity to everyone, they are serving God. Right? But the thing is, when it comes to this kind of process, you need to still be able to control your urges and your senses. So that is a difficult objective if you're not really focused in Bhakti Yoga. Okay. We have verse 5. Krishna again explains that the advancement of those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested, will be troublesome and difficult. That is why Srila Prabhupada explained very thoroughly what the Bhakti yogis do. Okay, according to Srila Prabhupada in the purport, the process of being in divine service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is easier and natural for the embodied soul compared to Jnana yogis. I will not read anymore the explanation of Srila Prabhupada for the Jnana yogis because it's a complicated process, meaning that you learn the scriptures, you need to learn the language, etc. So it's very academic. Okay, and Srila Prabhupada added that by worshiping the deity of Krishna, you can render service to this form of Krishna, right? That is why we mentioned the term Archa Vigraha. Okay, so it was explained to us that the deities are the platform of Saguna and Nirguna, platform of goodness and complete transcendental. That is why the conclusion of the purport of chapter 5 is that the worship of the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested, is beyond the approach of the senses, and it is not encouraged in this age. So it is not advised by Krishna to us, meaning that devotional service is really topmost, and we need to really engage in deity worship because it is very purifying. Okay, as we explained before, the deity of Krishna is non-different from him. Okay, That is why it is very important to focus on that. Then we began to go to the story of Sakshi Gopal Prabhu at the end of the class. So I will no longer discuss that. That's it, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Yeah. The Sakshi Gopal story is to tell how, Krishna is not different from his deity form. And that is why the part of Bhakti is very easy, because the devotee, they can relate with the beautiful Achavigraha of Krishna. And in that way, Krishna reciprocates with his devotees. Just like it's the story of Madhavendra Puri also. Madhavendra Puri, when he got to Vrindavan, Krishna Gopal brought milk to him personally. And in his dream, he told him, Madhavendra Puri, I've been waiting for you to come to Vrindavan. I'm in the forest somewhere. My deity is in the forest somewhere. When the Muslim invaded this land, my Pujari threw me inside the forest. I want you to worship me. You bring me out and worship me. So in that way, Madhavendra Puri brought Krishna, worshiped Krishna, and then Krishna told him, I want you to bring sandalwood for me. Then he would travel to Jagannath Puri to bring sandalwood. Then when he got to Gopinath temple, then Krishna stole a sweet rice for him. Then that deity became known as Shirachora Gopinath. And then when he came back to that temple, then Gopal appeared in his dream again that the sandalwood you are bringing for me, use it on the body of Gopinath. I will receive the same in Vrindavan. This was just to tell us how Krishna's deity is not different from Krishna. So when we worship Krishna deity, have some strong connection with the deity of Krishna, engage in our senses in the service of Krishna, we can feel direct realization. We can have this direct feeling. Now Krishna is not different from his Achavigraha. And that is why devotional service is easier than those who are trying to meditate on the impersonal form of God, which is very, very difficult. The mind itself is very, very restless, talk less of meditating on something that has no form. See? So devotional service is very wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to summarize chapter 12. I've not done that before. Let me quickly do that in 10 minutes or less. So chapter 12 is about Bhakti Yoga. So this link from the previous chapter. So in 1155, Lord Krishna concludes with the supremacy of Bhakti or devotional service unto him. As form of Ashamashundra, attachment to Krishna personal form is the highest realization. So there are people who prefer to meditate on the impersonal Brahma. Okay, so Arjuna asked the question, so which one is the supreme? Which one is, is higher in the first chapter? So Krishna has to explain that in chapter 12. So in 1 to 7, Krishna explained the Bhakti over impersonalism. That is 1 to 7. Then in verses 8 to 12, Krishna talked about progressive stage of Bhakti devotional service, which is very nice. I always love that, to quote that also. That Krishna is not a fanatic God, it's all-inclusive God. And then from 13 to 20, Krishna described the quality that endear one to him. The quality that devotee must develop that make us to become dear to Krishna. So that is the process of Bhakti. So then you see, the same thing also is being explained here. So chapter 12, devotional service, topic 1, Bhakti over impersonalism. That is from text 1 to 7. So Arjuna inquiries, okay? That was that. No need to go so much in detail. Then the same thing also happens here, personalist versus impersonalist. Mentioned, a pure devotee is constantly engaged, sometime in chant, sometime in years, or read the books about Krishna, or sometime he cook prasadam or goes to the marketplace to purchase something for Krishna. Sometime he washes the temple or dishes. Whatever he does not let a single moment pass without devoting his activities to Krishna. Such action is called full samadhi. So this is how to absorb our mind, in full samadhi on Krishna, like in the impersonalist trying to focus on something that is not conceived. And then Prabhupada used another example in the purport in text 5 about the mail boxes authorized by the post office. You cannot just put your mail. In those days that we have mailboxes, it's easily we can understand this example. Now we use emails, we use WhatsApp to send message. But those days when we don't have such technology, you have only this means of sending message. So you have to go to a particular designated mailbox by the government for you to get your message to the destination. You cannot just go to the streets and drop your message in any box. It will not get to the destination. Similarly, that is the same. The form of Krishna, the Acha Vigraha, is authorized form of Krishna to be worshipped in the temple. And in that way, we can directly connect to Krishna. Just like in I don't know, here in my country, there's so much of cable TV. I don't know, here I'm not so familiar with the system here. But in my country, like in my own home, I have a cable TV where you watch different kind of channels and all those things. So those channels, they are there in the air, but you cannot tap into them unless you have the decoder. You need to have the decoder. You need to have the satellite in your home. Then you can be able to get all these channels in your TV. So the same thing also, Krishna is everywhere, God is everywhere. But by having the personal deities of Krishna or form, you can connect directly with Krishna because this is the authorized process of connecting with Krishna. You see? So another example given in the purport 6 to 7, which we are going to be studying today, the Lord at once become a deliverer. A child is completely cared for by his parents and thus his position is secure. The child doesn't have to care so much about his future. Many of us, we don't care so much about our future until we finish our university, then you start thinking about your life. But most of the time, your parents, they are the one who try to secure your future. They want to send you to school. They want to make sure you pick a proper career. So they're trying to secure your future in that way. They care so much about you. You see? So the same thing, Krishna, we don't need to worry so much. Krishna is our future if we just surrender to him, And so in test 2, personally is pure and most perfect. Then in test 3, process and destination of impersonal Brahma worship. Then 5, troublesome part of the impersonalist, like that. Okay, this is just some summary we are going through. Then from 8 to 12, Krishna described the stages of devotion in progression. Like in just fix your mind upon me, that is the topmost. But Krishna did not stop there because he knows that not everyone will be able to just focus your mind on Krishna. So he give alternative. If you cannot fix your mind on me, then you can engage in regulative bhakti. If you cannot engage in regulative bhakti, then you can just work for me. If you cannot work for me, then just cultivate knowledge. If you cannot cultivate, just meditate or give up the results of your fruit. So Krishna gives so many, processes that we can follow. If it's not just one process, but if you cannot fit in here, you can fit in that. So many processes given Krishna given. So he's the father of all, and he cares so much about all his creation. So he knows that we are not on the same level, so he gives us opportunity to be able to connect with him in different ways. The direct process of bhakti, then we have the charity, those who engage in charity work and all those. And then talk about the quality that India want to Krishna from 13 to 20. The body think this person acting as my enemy due to my own past misdeeds, so it is better to suffer than to protest. So in this way, we tolerate whatever situation come. If you protest, then the karma continue to reoccur again until you're able to learn the lesson. My Guru Maharaj used to say, you don't try to see God, just walk in such a way that God may want to see you. This is Krishna consciousness movement. So if we cultivate all these good qualities that Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, then we are walking in such a way that God wants to come and see us. Because by our own endeavor, we try to see God, it's very difficult. But when we have good qualities, good good attitude towards life, then you are attracting God to yourself. Okay. So that is it. Okay, so now let's go back to where we stopped. Any question or comments so far? Okay, let's continue from text 6 and 7. Etu sarvani karmani mayi sayansya matpara anayena iva yogena mamdhyayanta upasate tisamaham samudarta mritu samsara sagarat bhavami nachira parta maya veshita shetasam. So Krishna describing here that, but those who worship me, giving up all the activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engage in devotional service, always meditating upon me, having fixed their mind upon me, also an operator for them, and sweet deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. So Krishna is describing the glories of Bhakti here, just fixing your mind. And that is what you're going to start in the text 8 to 12. Telling this is the topmost. That's why this chapter is called devotional service. Because Krishna, emphasizing on devotional service as the topmost process to attain him. Okay, somebody want to read the purport?
Hare Prabhu.
Yes, please, Mata.
Okay. It is explicitly stated here that devotees are very fortunate to be delivered very soon from material existence by the Lord. In the pure devotional service, one comes to the realize that God is the great and that individual soul is subordinate to him. His duty is to render service to the Lord. And if he does not, then he will render to service to Maya. As stated before, the Supreme Lord can be appreciated only by devotional service. Therefore, one should be fully devoted. One should fix his mind fully on Krishna in order to achieve him. One should work only for Krishna. It does not matter in what kind of work one engage, but that work should be done only for Krishna. That is the standard of devotional service. The devotee does not desire any achievement other than pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His life mission is to please Krishna, and he can sacrifice everything for Krishna's satisfaction, just as Arjuna did in the battle of Kurukshetra. The process is very simple. One can devote himself in his occupation and engage at the same time in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Such transcendental chanting attracts the devotee to personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord herein promised that without delay he will deliver pure devotees that engage from the ocean of material existence. Those who are advanced in yoga practice can willfully transfer the soul to whatever planet they like by the yoga process, and others take the opportunity in various ways. But as far as the devotee is concerned, it is clearly stated here that the Lord himself takes him. The devotee does not need to wait to become very experienced in order to transfer himself to spiritual sky. In the Baraha Purana, this verse appears, Nayami Paramam Sitanam Ter Adi Gatim Veda Garuda Skandam Aropya Yat Yati Yaticham Anivaritaha. The purport of this verse is that a devotee does not need to practice Ashtanga Yoga in order to transfer his soul to spiritual planets. The responsibility is taken by the Supreme Lord himself. He clearly state here that he himself become delivered. A child is completely cared for by his parents, and thus his position is secure. Similarly, a devotee does not need to endeavor to transfer himself by yoga practice to other planets. Rather, the Supreme Lord, by his great mercy, comes at once, riding on his bird carrier Garuda, at once delivers the devotee from material existence. Although a man who has fallen in the ocean He is struggling very hard and maybe very expert in swimming. He cannot save himself, but if someone comes and pick him up from the water, then he is easily rescued. Similarly, but the Lord picks up the devotee from this material existence. One simply has to practice the easy process of Krishna consciousness, is fully engaged in himself in devotional service. Any intelligent man should always prepare to the process of devotional service to all other paths. In the Narayaniya, this is confirmed as follows. Yavai sadhana sampati purusa sartha katostaye taya vinatad apnoti naro narayanas rayaha. The purport of this verse is that one should not engage in the different processes of proteid activity or cultivate knowledge by the mental speculative process. One who is devoted to the Supreme Personality can attain all the benefits derived from other yogic processes, speculation, rituals, sacrifice, charities, etc. That is the specific benediction of devotional service. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, a devotee of the Lord can approach the supreme destination easily and happily, but this destination cannot be approached by any other process of religion. The conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is stated in the 18th chapter. Sarva dharmam parityagya mam ekam saranam braja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayisyami ma shukaha. One should give up all other processes of self-realization and simply execute devotional service in Krishna consciousness that will enable one to reach the highest perfection of life. There is no need for one to consider the simple action of his past life, because the Supreme Lord fully takes charge of him. Therefore, one should not futilely try to deliver himself in spiritual realization. Let everyone take shelter of the supreme omnipotent Godhead, Krishna, that is the highest perfection of life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. See, Papa took his time to write a very long purport because that verse is talking about devotional service and how to attain Krishna. So, very long purport. So Krishna mentioned it there, if you engage in my thinking of me, becoming focused on me, then I deliver you from the ocean of birth and death. This is a part of the devotional service. You know, the devotional service is so easy to attain Krishna. That is why Krishna is always recommending that we should engage in devotional service to him, because it's an easier process, more easy. But people generally, they don't like easy process. They like very difficult lifestyle. They like difficult things. Actually, in this world, when things look so simple, people don't appreciate, they don't take it very seriously. Okay. So let's go to the next verse now, where Krishna will begin to describe about the different levels of surrendering. Maya eva manadasva mayi buddhi nivesaya nivasyasi maya reva atarudram nasamshaya. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always, without a doubt. Purport.
I'll read it, Prabhu.
Someone to read? Yes. Please, go
One
ahead.
who is engaged in Lord Krishna's devotional service lives in a direct relationship with Supreme Lord, so there is no doubt that his position is transcendental, formed from from the very beginning. A devotee does not live on the material plane, he lives in the Krishna. The holy name of the Lord and the Lord are non-different. Therefore, when a devotee chants Hare Krishna, Krishna and his internal potency are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. When he offers Krishna food, Krishna directly accepts these eatables and devotee becomes crystallized by eating the remnants. One who does not engage in such service cannot understand how this is so, although this is a process recommended in the Bhagavad Gita and in other Vedic literature. Hare Krishna.
Very wonderful, eh? Short but powerful. So proper mention here, when a devotee chants Hare Krishna and his internal potency are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. So when you are chanting Hare Krishna, you're chanting the only name of Krishna. Krishna is dancing on your tongue. Just imagine. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So the Lord is dancing on your tongue. Just imagine fully absorbing chanting the Krishna's name. Krishna is dancing on your tongue. There's one app I would recommend devotees to download. Very nice app. It's Prabhupada chanting app. Very nice one. It's called Mantra Meditation. I will share it in the group. I don't know which group to share it, but I will share it in the group. It's called Disciple Course and Bhagavad Gita group also. It's a very nice app. You will see there by the side of the app, there is a description of the holy name of Krishna. How Prabhupada explained the chanting of the holy name of Krishna in the beginning. Very wonderful purport. The holy name of Krishna. And also many quotes about the glories of the holy name. The more you read about the glories of the holy name, the more you become attached to chanting the holy name of Krishna. So there's one devotee of Lord Ramachandra. He has spent all his life collecting the glories of chanting the holy name of Lord Ram. That is the only way to become attached to chanting the holy name of Krishna. We have to hear the glories of the holy name of Krishna. So when you open this app, you will see by the side of the app, there's so many quotes about the glories of chanting the holy name of Krishna. You can read them, okay? That's why I'm sharing it with you. You can read them, or maybe before chanting also, I know many of you chant together in the morning. Before chanting, you can read one verse about the glories of the holy name. Just read about the glories and then, meditate on that through your chanting process. It's very nice. Okay? So, Krishna Prabhupada is saying, Krishna mentioned that, the highest is to fix your mind on him and engage your intelligence in Krishna. Thus, you will live with him without a doubt. So if you're able to do this, that is the topmost, to just fix your mind on Krishna and engage your intelligence in Krishna. But if you cannot do that, can Krishna give us alternative? So in the next verse, Krishna says, if you cannot do that, what should you do? You should engage in regulative bhakti. Let us read. Adashitan samadatum nachakno simaye stiram abhyasa yogena tato mami chaptu danajaya. My dear Arjuna, O winners of world, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, that is the highest. If you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principle of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. It's very good when you're engaging in the regulative part of Bhakti to desire to attain Krishna. That desire for Krishna is very, very important. Because if you're engaging in the regulative principle of Bhakti and you don't have desire for Krishna, you will not get Krishna. It is mentioned by the great Acharyas that the only price for you to get Krishna is the greed, loyal, intense greed to have Krishna. That is the only price for getting Krishna. When you don't have that intense greed, if you don't have that desire, strong desire to get Krishna, you can chant for hundreds and millions of years. You will not get Krishna. So that intense greed, desire to have Krishna, is very, very important in the regulative process of Bhakti. Okay? So let's read the purport here.
I'll read Prabhuji.
Please.
In these words, Two different processes of Bhakti Yoga are indicated. The first applies to the one who has actually developed an attachment for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by transcendental love, and other is for one who has not developed an attachment for the Supreme Person by the transcendental love. For the second class, there are different prescribed rules and regulations one can follow to be ultimately elevated to the stage of attachment of Krishna. Bhakti Yoga is a purification of senses. At the present moment in material existence, the senses are always impure, being engaged in the sense of gratification. But by the practice of Bhakti Yoga, these senses can become purified, and in the purified state, they come directly in contact with the Supreme Lord. In this material existence, I may be engaged in some service to some master, but I don't really loving serve my master. I simply serve to get my some money, and the master also is not in the love. He takes service from me and he pays me. So there is no question of love. But for spiritual life, one must be elevated to the pure stage of love. That that stage of love can be achieved by the practice of devotional service performed with the present senses. This love of God is now in a dominant state in everyone's heart, and there is a love of God is manifested in different ways, but it is contaminated by the material association. Now the heart has to be purified for the material association, and the dominant natural love for Krishna has to be revealed. That is the whole process. To practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, one should, under the guidance of an expert spiritual master, perform certain principles. Bath in Ganga, offer prayers and chant Hare Krishna. Then collect flowers to offer to the deity, cook foodstuff, foodstuff to offer to the deity, take prasadam, and so on. There are various rules and regulations which one should follow, and one should constantly hear Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam from a pure devotees. This practice can help anyone rise to the level of love of God, and then he is showed to his process into the spiritual kingdom of God. This practice of Bhakti Yoga under the rules and regulations with the direction of the spiritual master will surely bring one to the stage of love of God.
Thank you. So there are 5 angas of bhakti that is recommended by the acharyas. One is hearing the glories of the Lord, chanting the holy name of God. They mention it in the Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing Bhagavad Gita, chanting the holy name of the Lord is number 2. And number 3 is residing in holy places, or a holy place like Vrindavan or Mathura or in Mayapur or in the temple. And the other one is worshipping of the deities. And the 5th one is, I've mentioned chanting and hearing, Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. And the other one is chanting the holy name of the Lord and Namaseva, and the other one is residing in the holy place, and the other one is worshiping the deities, and the 5th one is, what is the 5th one? Somebody can remind me? There are 5 angas of bhakti, very important. I want to mention them, because we are talking about regulative principle of bhakti. So there are 5 of them, 5 anga of bhakti. When Krishna is saying that we should engage in a regulative devotional service, he's talking about these 5 things. And the sadhu sangha, association with devotees. Okay, association with devotees, very, very important. So any of these 5 can give you pure love of Krishna. Okay, so number 1 is association with devotees. Number 2 is to chant the holy name of Krishna. Number 3 is to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Number 4 is to live in the holy place, such as Mathura. And number 5 is to serve the deity. So these 5 things, these 5 are part of 5 principles of Bhakti Yoga. These are the 5 the process of regulative bhakti. When you want to engage in regulative principle of bhakti, like Krishna mentioned here, when Krishna say, okay, if you cannot just fix your mind upon me, engage in regulative principle of bhakti, Krishna is referring to these 5 things, okay? Chanting the holy name of Krishna, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita every day, not once in a while, not when I feel like, not after 1 month, no, every day. Now, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam every day or Bhagavad Gita every day, just like we are doing now, every day we are doing. Then chanting the holy name of Krishna every day, worshiping the deity. That's what Papa mentioned in the purport. If you have deity in your room, you cook every day, you eat every day. So it's natural that you offer your food to Krishna every day. You see, that is engaging in regulative bhakti, a regulative principle of bhakti. You see, then reciting the holy place. Wherever the Lord is the holy place. In your house, if you have the deity of the Lord, it's become a holy place. Sometimes you visit the temple also, so it's okay. And sometimes you come to associate with devotee. Not every time you get the opportunity to do that. Like now, we are getting association here on this online. So this is Sadhu Sangha also. So this 5 part of bhakti will surely give you pure love of Krishna. If you engage in a bright consciousness. Prabhupada mentioned in Nectar of Devotion, even one of them done properly can give you pure love for Krishna. And this love for Krishna we're talking about, we have this Srila Rupa Goswami about the 8 steps to come to Prema. We have Shraddha, we have Sadhu Sangha, we have Bhajana Kriya, we have Anatta Nivriti, Nishta, we have Ashakti, we have Ruchi, we have Ashakti, we have Bhava, and we have Prema. These are the 8 steps to come to Prema, starting from Shraddha, faith. So we must have faith in this process. The process is mentioned by Krishna, or the pure devotee of Krishna, like Srila Rupa Goswami mentioned about these 5 angas of bhakti. We must have faith in this process. And so as we develop strong faith, then Sadhu Sangha, association with devotees, is very important to achieve that. It's only in the association of devotees you engage in devotional service, then that is the beginning of Bhajana Kriya. And immediately you start engaging in Bhajana Kriya, then there is another nivriti taking place. Means all the dirty things in your heart will start coming to the surface. The room may be very dirty before, and everything looks okay in the room, but once you start cleaning, you will not see the dust coming up. Then sometimes even the dust starts choking you. No, so when you start engaging in bhakti, all your dirty things start choking you up. Oh, I'm so lusty. Oh, I still have hunger. Oh, I'm so greedy. Oh, illusion is there. So as you are engaging in bhakti, you see all this dust will be coming up. Sometimes they get you choked up. It's like, oh, suffocating. But you just have to continue the process of purification. Then when you're able to cross beyond the anatta nivriti, then you come to the stage of nishta. You become fixed on the path of bhakti. Then when you become fixed on the path of bhakti, then you come to the next level, which is ruchi. You develop taste in devotional service. You see, this is part of regulative principle of devotional service. So when you develop ruchi, taste, then devotional service becomes so easy for you because you develop taste already. You love doing it. When you have taste for something, you know what it means. Just like when you love ice cream, you can do everything to go and take ice cream. It's like, don't take ice cream today. You'll be looking, watching your mommy, your daddy. If they are not looking, you want to go and get the ice cream because you love ice cream. You see? So when you have a taste for something, you are ready to do everything to get that thing. So when you develop taste for devotional service, you just want to engage in devotional service because you love doing devotional service. You have developed taste. You see? Then after taste comes ashakti, attachment. Attachment is completely different from taste. You cannot understand. See, when you have taste, when you love ice cream, it's different from when you attach to ice cream. You see? When you love ice cream, it's completely different to when you attach to ice cream. Because when you become attached to ice cream, you cannot do without ice cream. That is what it means. You may love it, and sometimes maybe you don't get it, you are okay. But when you attach to it, Without getting it, you are not okay. That is different. Actually, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained the difference between Ruchi and Ashakti. He said, even when you're on the platform of Ruchi, when you are chanting the names of Krishna, your mind may still go to material things sometimes. But when you're on the level of Ashakti, even when you try to think of material things, your mind will naturally go back to Krishna. That is the difference between taste and attachment. When you become attached to Krishna, it's a completely different ballgame. You see? So when you are on that level of attachment, then the next level is bhava. You develop love for Krishna. And when you are on that platform of bhava, there are 8 symptoms or 8 qualities of one who is on the platform of bhava, which is mentioned in Nectar of Devotion. One of them is that they don't like to waste time. You know, nowadays we waste so much time, you know. You know, we waste so much time, we scroll on our social media, looking for some miracle that is not there, you know, looking for something that is not lost, just looking, waste so much time, you know. But one who has become attached to Krishna, he doesn't want to waste time on anything. You just want to spend your time, you know, on Krishna and engaging in devotional service on Krishna. So that is the difference, you know. So any comments or question? Then after bhava come prema. When you're already on the level of bhava, at that stage you already develop your swarupa. Means you'll be given a particular spiritual body in the spiritual world, which you will engage in eternal service to the Lord, to the divine couples. So that is a very high level, and but it's attainable when we engage in sincere devotional service, regulative principle of devotion, as Krishna mentioned here. Okay, so the next one, let's go to the next one. Krishna says, if you cannot do that, then do what? Let's read. Abhyasa. Abhyasa pi yasamritosi matkaramo paramo baba. If you cannot do that, then engage in working for me. Madartha pikarmani kuruvam siddhyavapsyasi. By working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. Okay. That is Krishna. Let's read the purport. Somebody who has not read before can read.
Okay, I'll read.
Yes.
Go on.
One who is not able even to practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga under the guidance of a spiritual master can still be drawn to this personal stage by working for the Supreme Lord. How to do this work has already been explained in the 15th verse of the 11th chapter. One should be sympathetic to the propagation of Krishna consciousness. There are many devotees who are engaged in the propagation of Krishna consciousness, and they require help. So even if one cannot directly practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, he can try to help such work. Every endeavor requires land, capital, organization, and labor, just as in the business one to requires a place to stay, some capital to use, some labor, and some organization to expand. So the same is required in the service of Krishna. The only difference is that in the materialism, one works for sense gratification. The same work, however, can be performed for the satisfactions of Krishna, and that is spiritual activity. If one has sufficient money, he can help in building an office or temple for propagating Krishna consciousness, or he can help with publications. There are various fields of activity, and one should be interested in such activities. If one cannot sacrifice the result of his activities, the same person can still sacrifice some percentage to propagate Krishna consciousness. This voluntary service to the cause of Krishna consciousness will help one to rise to a higher state of love for God, whereupon one becomes perfect. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. So here Krishna is describing that if you cannot engage in regulative principle of bhakti, we can work for him. Very important. So many of us here, we are going to be preachers of Krishna consciousness in the future. We should take note of all these verses Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita here from 8 to 12. See, everybody are not going to be on the same platform, you see? That you want to, everybody has to become a temple devotee, surrender everything. No. Once you are speaking to people and you understand the level of their consciousness, as a very mature preacher, you should be able to know which category to classify them. If you see that somebody is highly spiritual, he wants to practice devotional service, it's okay. You can connect him directly to devotional service, regulative principle of devotion. But if somebody is saying, oh, I just want to do my work, I'm not, don't want, then it's very good, very good. That is very good. So the only what you need to do is you just work for God, give some result of your work to God, and you'll be getting the same benefit like someone who is completely, like dedicating his life for God. So you get the same benefit. So you can encourage people like that. So they will, so if people cannot directly participate in Krishna consciousness, in spreading it directly, they can support the preaching mission by giving the hand-earned money to support the preaching mission, and they will still get the same benefit just by supporting the preaching mission. Just like now, we are building a temple in Tagig. So all those devotees, all those people in the community who are donating, they are going to get so much benefit. I was even thinking that if we can approach the government also to support, but you see, because some of these people, they may not directly engage in devotional service, but if we can convince them to support, to support in building some of all these things, especially supporting building of the temple. Everybody knows the benefit of building the house of God, whether you're a Christian, you're a Muslim, everyone knows the benefit of building the house of God. So they can support in that way, they get benefit also. They get benefited. So we should not think that everyone is going to be on the same platform at every time, all time. No. See, Krishna is the one giving us this knowledge. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's making us to understand that there are people who are just going to fix their mind on him, focus their intelligence on him. Those people, they are the first class. They don't think of anything but God, God, God. They're always there in the society, And then there are some people who cannot be on that platform. So they have to gradually rise themselves by engaging in regulative principle of devotional service, chanting the holy name of the Lord, worshiping the deities. So gradually they will come there also. And there are some other people who cannot do regulative bhakti directly. So we can engage them. Oh, we are doing Food for Life. Please, we want to support our Food for Life programs. We are doing this, we are doing that, we are building temple, we want to like to support our. So by engaging their money, they are getting benefit. Okay. Any comment or question regarding these points?
Prabhu, this verse, it speaks of the Shkama Karma Yoga.
This particular verse, actually, this is not Nishkama Karma Yoga. This is just
Karma Yoga only. Okay.
Yeah, because Krishna here is just telling the devote, just telling them to engage. Have you read the purport of this one? No? Yes,
Prabhu. This is 12:10. We've read.
Okay. So yeah, Krishna is saying that, Krishna's when is talking, let me mention the part in the purport. The only difference is that the materialism one work for sense gratification. The same work, however, can be performed for the satisfaction of Krishna. That is spiritual activity. If one has sufficient money, it can help in building an office, temple for propagating, or it can help with publication. You see? So Prabhupada is mentioning here what Krishna is explaining here. Is for those people who are working outside and how to engage their work in Krishna. Not people who are working and they are not desiring the result. Working and not desiring the result in Nishkama Karma Yoga. But these people, they are working for results. And Prabhupada here is saying, Krishna is saying here, use that result in Krishna, for Krishna. Use your profit for Krishna. But a devotee who is working, who is not expecting result, who is not attached to the result of that work, is one engaging in Nishkama Karma Yoga.
Okay, thank you for the clarification, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So let's continue. So let's go to the next verse, test 11. Krishna continue encouraging everyone to somehow or the other get connected to him. So in text 11, Krishna says, Ataitadapya saptosi kartuma yogama shritaha sarva karma falatiagam tattakoro yatatmavan. If ever you're unable to walk in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. You see? Giving up sarva karma falatiagam, karma falatiagam, giving up the result of your work. You know, this is what Krishna is emphasizing here. You see, let's read the purport and hear Prabhupada's explanation. Someone who has not read before should read.
Okay, I'll read. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. It may be that one is unable even to sympathize with the activities of Krishna consciousness because of social, familial, or religious considerations, or because of some other impediments. If one attaches himself directly to the activities of Krishna consciousness, there may be objections from family members, or so many other difficulties. For one who has such a problem, it is advised that he sacrifice the accumulated result of his activities to some good cause. Such procedures are described in the Vedic rules. There are many descriptions of sacrifices and special functions for the full moon day, and there is special work in which the result of one's previous action may be applied. Thus, one may gradually become elevated to the state of knowledge. It is also found that when one who is not even interested in the activities of Krishna consciousness gives charity to some hospital or some other social institution, he gives up the hard-earned results of his activities. That is also recommended here, because by the practice of giving up the fruits of one's activities, one is sure to purify his mind gradually. And in that purified stage of mind, one becomes able to understand Krishna consciousness. Of course, Krishna consciousness is not dependent on any other experience because Krishna consciousness itself can purify one's mind. But if there are impediments to accepting Krishna consciousness, one may try to give up the results of his actions. And in that respect, social service, community service, national service, sacrifice for one's country, etc., may be accepted so that someday one may come to the stage of pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavad Gita 18.46, we find it stated, Yataha pravritir bhutanam. If one decides to sacrifice for the supreme cause, even if he does not know that the supreme cause is Krishna, he will come gradually to understand that Krishna is the supreme cause by the sacrificial method. Hare Krishna.
So let's discuss. I want us to have some classroom discussion now. What is the difference between the verse 8 and verse 11 and 10? I want us to discuss. I want everybody to contribute. Everyone. What do you understand? Oh, Mother Nyarika, you are back. Aribo.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so let's discuss. What is the difference between tests 11 and 10? We are going to continue till 8 o'clock today. I told you, I promise you, since we are starting 6:30, sometime we may have to go to 8 o'clock. Okay, so what is the difference?
Prabhu, I'll try.
Okay,
And
now you are going to tell us the difference based on preaching application. Means that when I say you are going to tell us the difference based on preaching application, means that you are going to tell us based on how you are going to explain it to others. Now you are preaching, you are outside to preach, and you want to tell people about this, the difference between this 10 and 11. Krishna is giving us this knowledge. you want to convince people on this different level on how to serve Krishna, how are you going to explain this, the difference between this two verses to others? Now, please think about it and share with us. Everyone going to speak. Everyone is going to speak. Everyone. You have to say something. You cannot hide.
Okay, so in verse 10, as we've clarified earlier, it refers to karma yoga. So engaging in activities, but devoting it to Krishna. So it means you're still attached to the fruitive results of your work. We can make like an example out of this by, for example, you work for your boss, right? But in this case, you do everything for the benefit of your boss, for the benefit of the company, but still awaiting for the results of your work, which is your salary, your wage. Okay, that's karma yoga. So you work, you engage in activities for your company or for your boss, and still you are awaiting the results of your work. That's your wage. And we have verse 11. So in this one, Krishna refers to, I think this is the Nishkama Karma Yoga, because you're giving up the results of your work, right? To be fully situated. So Krishna is referring to Nishkama Karma Yoga here, meaning that you engage in certain activities or devotional service purely for Krishna, and still not thinking that the results of your work will benefit you in the future. So you're not attached to the results of your work. We can give an example here by like doing charity, but not really.
Can you hear me?
No. Yes, Prabhu. Just now.
Let me clarify something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for the benefit of those who are going to contribute in the future, in text 11, Krishna is not talking about Nishkama Karma Yoga.
Is it not? Okay. What is this?
Nishkama Karma Yoga is completely different. Nishkama Karma Yoga actually is devotional service.
Okay.
You are engaging in service to Krishna, but you are not expecting anything in return. You are not expecting a result. But in this text 11, Krishna is talking about those who are not connected to Krishna consciousness. If you understand the Prabhupada's purport, you can see in the Prabhupada purport. Prabhupada mentioned very clearly there, those who cannot be connected to Krishna consciousness due to some social and whatever impediments. So those kind of people, they are encouraged. Oh, I'm already giving the answer. Oh, those people are encouraged to engage in charitable work, like hospital work, supporting the hospital, building hospital, orphanages, So they are working, but they are not attached to the result of their work. They are using the result of their work to serve the community, even though they cannot directly engage in devotional service. In text 10, you are working and you are using the result to serve Krishna. There's two different things between 10 and 11. Oh, what I'm saying? Everybody going to speak now. Yeah, please speak. I'm not speaking again because I want to hear from you.
Do you have a term for this, Prabhu, for this kind of like service?
Yeah, probably, like in text 11, Krishna mentioned Sarva Karma Falatiagam. That is giving up the result of your work, not attached to the result of your work, renouncing the result of your work. But you are not in this case, you are not renouncing it for Krishna. You are renouncing it to serve the society. Like we have many rich people who love to do charitable work. Who have foundations. They want to help people, they want to build hospitals, they want to, So these people they are under this category. Meanwhile, text 10 was saying, those people who are working, but who want to use the result of their work to serve Krishna. So Prabhupada said, So Krishna said, work for me. If you look at text 10, let's see the term used there. Let's go to text 10 again. Krishna say, Mat karma paramo baba. Let's see the meaning. Read the meaning for me. Mat karma paramo baba. Read it. Somebody is reading the meaning. Mat karma paramo baba.
For my sake, even work. What is that? Work for my sake.
You understand? Do you understand the difference now?
Yes, brother.
It's very, very close, but it's different. Krishna said, work for me. Mat karama paramo baba. Work for me. You see? Because by working for me, you come to perfection stage. Krishna in text 10 is saying, work for me. But in text 11, he say, Sarva Phala Tyagam. Sarva Karma Phala Tyagam. Do you understand the term now, the difference in the terms?
Yes, Prabhu, renounce all your activities, and the results of your activities.
Not the result of your not activity. Renounce Karma Phala. Karma Phala means the result. Phala means fruits. Karma Phala. To renounce the fruits of your activities. That is the meaning of Karma Phala Tyagam. So here Krishna says, Sarva Karma Phala Tyagam, renouncing the fruit of your action. In this verse now, you are not renouncing it for Krishna. It's not Mat Karma Paramo Baba. But you are renouncing this to serve the society because you don't want to be connected directly to Krishna. Some people, they don't like to serve God directly. They just want to serve God in charitable works. You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
So I still want you to explain to me. Although I've talked about it, I want everybody to.
So in verse 11, we're talking about renouncing the fruitive results of your work. So an example, as I've mentioned earlier, is doing charity. You're doing it for the benefit of others without really being attached to the results of your charity, of your work. But the thing is, when it comes to charity, you're unaware that it benefits Krishna in some way. We can go back here to like a line here in this verse or in the purport that what is that? Where is that? I read it earlier. Here. Okay. It is also found that when one is not even interested in the activities of Krishna consciousness, gives charity to some hospital, he gives up his earned results. And also, we have here another one. Unaware. I can't seem to find that line, Prabhu, but it refers to like being unaware or being like clueless that you're doing work for Krishna also. There's a line here, I've read it earlier. So meaning either you're doing charity, not really doing it for Krishna consciousness or for Krishna, or you're doing charity because you're unaware that it benefits God. So I have one question here, Prabhu, because when it comes to like in modern age, people perform charity for tax breaks, right? Not really for doing good work. So we cannot categorize them under here.
They are doing the charity for what?
Right?
You say they are doing the charity for what?
Prabhu?
You say they are doing the charity for what?
Tax breaks. Rich people do that. Tax breaks.
To avoid taxes.
Okay. So we can only put here under this category like charity by people who does it really purely for philanthropy or to give back to other people without waiting for the like benefit or results of that charity. So that's the difference between the two.
Okay, you are right. Okay, means you are just interested in using the result of your work to help others. There are some people who have that feeling also. So in that way, ultimately, they will get purified and come to the platform of devotional service. That is what Krishna said. Somebody else want to speak? Somebody else want to speak?
Can I try, Prabhu?
Yes, please go ahead. Yes.
So I think for verse 10,
Yeah.
so verse 10 is you cannot if you cannot offer all of your work to Shri Krishna or put Shri Krishna in everything that you do, then what he said was you can work for him in such a way that you're not actually using the result of your work. Like for example, if you become like, let's say for example, you're more inclined to becoming like a soldier, so you can do that work for Shri Krishna and be his soldier in a way, and the result of that aspect or that work is not is that you're going to give it out in the service of Shri Krishna or to others. Like let's say for example, you're going to donate it for, I mean, you're going to get that result to uplift others, or like to have more services towards, like to add more services to other people or towards the other devotees. Like let's say for example, you can donate those results that you got, let's say your salary from being a soldier, to book distribution, or to donate food to the temple, or for the devotees to make use of it if they have like some of their own projects that they want to serve towards Sri Krishna. And for verse 11, verse 11 is saying that if you cannot do the previous verse, like if you cannot do the verse 10, then you can do this one, verse 11. So it says that if you cannot stop working for yourself either, or like for like your innate nature is to work naturally, and you cannot stop yourself and offer yourself to Shri Krishna or completely surrender towards Shri Krishna, or even like do the previous verses, then what you can do is to continue working and then stop working, but then you use the result of that work to either charity, you like Food for Life, you can donate for Food for Life in such a way, then they can use that for them to, I mean, they can use that in terms of Shri Krishna. You're offering it as well in such a way. So I think that is it. I'm trying.
You try, thank you. Yeah, it's okay. Thank you. I love trying. Okay. Somebody else want to try? Yeah, Mother Lakshmi, you are thinking to try. So on your mic, meet your mic. I'm seeing you. You are doing like this. Shall I talk? Yeah. So talk. Mother Tripura, Meganan, Mother Ninja, Mother Chintia.
Prabhu, I just try only.
Okay, try.
Okay, so in verse 10, what I understand is like performing action serving God with like intentionally, something like that. Then those performing serving God with intentionally, like he's not really strictly following the like the regular principles, but still he's still like he's like is benefited from Krishna. And the verse 11, it is like uh, offering offering the results of your actions, like yes, doing charity, by doing that, even he's not aware that giving charities like to the like hospital, something like that. But he's not aware that he is the he also Krishna's benefited also. Mm.
Thank you. You're trying. You want to explain 11?
Wait, bravo.
Yeah, this I want us, because this is very good. Okay, for I'm asking because I want to see your preaching application level and also academic integrity. Okay.
Bravo. Like I have a question. Like person who like donating money to the like hospitals, not to the Krishna consciousness, because it's not like practicing Krishna consciousness. There is still Krishna benefited.
Very good. You're on the right point, yeah. Okay, somebody else want to try? Last opportunity.
I'll try, Prabhu.
Yes, please try.
From what I understand from the 12.10 is if a person struggles to focus on Krishna constantly but tries to develop the devotion through regular practice, he can recite, like he or she may recite the Krishna's name daily like a tapa, and he can read the Bhagavad Gita book, and he can meditate on Krishna's form and the Leelas, and they can visit the temples and all. For example, a business professionals may not always think of Krishna, but makes time for every morning to chant the Hare Krishna for 15 times or up to their limit. So, 12.11 we can offer through karma phala tyaga. So for example, if a farmer a farmer cannot practice daily rituals, still dedicates his harvest to the Krishna, like a food, sharing a food with Krishna and who their needs, believing to seva.
You are becoming too Krishna conscious, which is
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Very
So
nice.
both paths lead toward devotion only, but 12.10 emphasizes personal practice, and 12.11 allows devotion through selfless action.
Very good. Thank you. Actually, let me break the bond. I want to break one barrier in your mind, all of you. Let me break one barrier in your mind. You know, because all of us, we are too Krishna conscious that we cannot apply this principle without putting Krishna into it. You see, because we are on the level, actually, we are all on the level of the second verse where Krishna mentioned regulative of Bhakti, engaging in regulation of Bhakti. Okay, so that is the level we are. But there are some people who are not ready for these regulations. Okay, they don't want to follow your 4 regulative principles. They don't want to chant their 16 rounds. They are only interested in working. So they work and they bring their money to serve the temple. Okay, take the money, use it for your preaching, for printing of books. Okay, take this money, use it for food for life. Okay, take this money, use it for this, that. That is Krishna, what Krishna is saying. Mat karma paramo bhava, work for me. You see, they're not interested in regulative principle of Bhakti, but they want to engage their fruits of their work in Krishna. Did we get the point now? But in text 11, there is no Krishna conscious at all in there. That is where we are missing it up. In text 11, there is no Krishna conscious. Prabhupada mentioned properly in the purport. Let's read the first line of the Prabhupada's purport. Somebody read very loudly. Who is reading?
I'll read it, Prabhu.
Yeah.
It may be that one is unable even to sympathize with the activities of Krishna consciousness.
Listen, stop there and repeat it again. Very loudly.
It may be that one is unable even to sympathize with the activities of Krishna consciousness.
It means that in the previous verse, those people they are sympathizers of Hare Krishna. So they're not interested in your regulations. You see? But they are sympathizers of Hare Krishna. So they work, they give the result to the temple, use it for your preaching. But I don't want to practice. Okay? Take, use it for this. I don't want to practice. Take, use it for that. I don't want to practice. By doing that unknown to them, they are getting purified also. You see? But this text 11, you see how Prabhupada started it. Even if you are not a sympathizer of Hare Krishna, means that these people, they don't want to connect to any spiritual activity at all. So continue.
Because of social, familial, and or religious considerations.
Because these people, they still want to eat meat, they still want to party, they still want to go to cinemas, they want to enjoy their life. You know, they want to do all these activities. They're not interested in Hare Krishna. You see? Okay, go ahead.
Or because of some other impediments. If one attaches himself directly to the activities of Krishna consciousness, there may be objections from family members or so many other difficulties. For one who has such a problem, it is advised that he sacrifice the accumulated result of his activities to some good cause.
You see? That is what I'm trying to say. These people, Krishna is saying, even though they cannot directly engage their wealth or whatever, their fruit of their work in supporting the Krishna conscious activities, due to some impediments, somehow they have to direct the result of their work to some good cause. Are you understanding the difference now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, sometimes we become so Krishna conscious that we are putting Krishna in everything, which is very good for us. It's very good for us. But here Krishna is not talking about, Krishna is not considering those who are thinking about him. He's talking about those who are not ready for him. They are not ready to practice at all. They are not ready to practice at all. That is what Krishna is talking about in the text 11. They are not ready to practice. Okay, yes, Mother Nikki.
Prabhu, in verse 11, that means they will never reach the abode of Krishna if they're in this platform.
Listen, read Krishna's, read the verse 11. Read it
Because
again.
you were saying earlier, like, if you like to party, if you like to do these things, you can still
No, that's what I'm saying. I read the verse itself.
If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all the results of your work and try to be self-situated.
You understand? See, what I'm saying is that we're already on a higher platform. We are on the second platform. I'm not talking about us. You are misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not talking about devotees who are already practicing regulative principle of Bhakti. We are already practicing regulative principle of Bhakti. That is why I was saying that I want you to explain it in a preaching application, how you are going to explain to others. I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about those who are out there who are not interested in Krishna consciousness at all. That is what Krishna is talking about. It's not talking about those who are already engaging in the regulative principle of Bhakti. You're already engaging in the regulative principle of Bhakti. Krishna is not talking about you. Krishna is talking about those who are not interested at all, who love to party, who love to dance, who love to eat, all kind of things. They're not interested in spirituality. But those people also can still be connected to spiritual activity. How? By engaging their results in some social cause. I don't know, maybe are you getting my point? Are you getting confused or getting convinced?
Your point.
Yes, sir, because it was clarified here that yes, they may be accepted one day when they come to the stage of pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So it means that being charitable in itself is not enough.
You say what? Repeat that again.
Being charitable in itself without like being attached to the results is not enough. It says here that
say what you said before you mention this. Yeah, I heard this.
Yes, it's in the purport that these people may be accepted, so that these kind of like services or like charitable work may be accepted, so that someday one may come to the stage of pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So meaning charitable work in itself is not enough.
That is what I'm explaining. Now you are getting my point, but you are not still there. What I'm saying, Krishna and Prabhupada explaining about those people there who has no connection with Krishna. By doing this charitable work, they will get gradually purified, and one day they will come to the platform of devotional service.
Okay, Prabhu, got it.
You got the point now? Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. Prabhupada, Krishna is talking about those who are out there who are not connected to Krishna consciousness, and they don't want to be connected to Krishna consciousness due to some impediment. Prabhupada mentioned in the purport. But these people also, by engaging in some charitable cause, by helping people, old people, hospital, this, that, gradually they get purified. And one day they come to the spiritual platform also to engage in devotional service. One day. Is that clear? So we stop here. We continue from test 12 tomorrow. Thank you very much. Any other comment, question? We have 2 minutes more. Vanchakapataruvyascha kripasindhuvyevacha patitanampa vanevyo vaishnavibhyo namo namo. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gora Premanande. Haribo. I hope you are preparing for your presentation. Haribo. Okay, see you tomorrow, Hare Krishna.